Good evening and welcome. This is a wonderful evening in which to recognize among our alums people who have done outstanding service for Gilmour and represent in many ways their own, the mission of Gilmour, as well as the opportunities that they have had to influence the world in which they now have had the opportunity to do their work and represent what they have gained at Gilmour and Glen Oak.
Good evening. My name is Mark Young, and I graduated in the class of 1992, and I'm a current member of the Board of Trustees here. Along with Brother Robert Lavelle, the Gilmour family, we would like to welcome you to Gilmour's annual Christmas party. A special part of this annual event is the opportunity to honor two Gilmour Academy Glen Oak alumni. Each year, the award honors Gilmour graduates who have distinguished themselves and who have demonstrated leadership and service to the school. This year, we are very thrilled to honor Roberta Guarino, a member of Glen Oak's class. A member of Glen Oak's class of 1982. Amy is a public affairs specialist in the Innovative Program and Outreach Group for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. She is retired from the Coast Guard in 2006 with 21 years of exemplary military service and over 40 personal ribbons and medals. While in the Public Affairs Department of the Coast Guard, Amy's first public affairs challenge involved the perfect storm that we all heard about that occurred off the coast of New England in October of 1991. So please help me welcome Amy.
Hi, y'all. How you doing? Good to see a lot of familiar faces. We just had some good friends come in that I'm just so excited to see this evening, so thank you for coming. I have known for 16 years what a truly amazing woman that Berti is. I am so excited to be able to share her greatness with you tonight. You know when you first start dating someone and they talk about their childhood, and you know, we were sitting and talking on one of our first dates and Berti's like, I went to the greatest high school ever. And I'm like, really, high school? You're kidding. Because my experience was not so great. And you know when you go to parties and people ask you what you do and it's some badge of honor or some bragging right to tell them what you do for a living. Although Berti doesn't work at a traditional 9-to-5 job, I want you to know that she is one of the hardest working people that I know. Over the years, I've been the recipient of Berti's unwavering and loyalty and support. And I constantly drag her into my work. And she takes my projects on with such fervor, you would think that she had to answer to my boss instead of me. Berti's always saying she doesn't need her name in lights or the big faguta, as her mom used to say. She just thrives on making things work, and she is fully capable of tackling any task. This is why when 3 years ago, she decided to set up a Glen Oak School Facebook group, I knew it was going to take off like wildfire, and boy, did it. One day she took me by the hand when I came in from work, which she often does. Hey, come here, I want to show you something. And she, with those excited eyes of hers that she gets, she said, look at this. More than 100 people had signed up on the group within a matter of just a few short hours of her setting up the group. And today, now there are over 400 people on that Glen Oak Facebook group. One day, a couple years ago, Ann Cherucci opened her home to Glen Oak women and said, come, we're going to have a potluck. I don't know if we're going to have enough food, but we're just going to get together. And about 40 women showed up. She had called and asked Berti to help her get a hold of people. And in 2 weeks, we had 40 people show up. It was pretty amazing. Everyone at that potluck was buzzing. Hey, we got to get together. We got to get everybody here. What are we going to do? Who's going to do it? And said, who's going to coordinate this thing? And Berti said, I'll do it. I'll take it on. And right off the bat, Berti said, I'm not going to call this a reunion because it's such an overdone word. I'm going to call it a gala with that same excited eye that she gets once in a while. And so it began. I lost my house bet to her organizing a gala. And I knew it would be an event that no one would likely forget too soon, especially with my brilliant, logistically minded wife on the job. I quickly learned by reading some of those early Facebook postings that Glen Oak must have really been something. The women were buzzing a whole year before the gala. They could hardly wait to show up and see one another again. And when that day finally came, people were saying, "Wow, Berti, how did you do it?" And she looked at me and said, "What's wrong with me? Because they think it's something hard, and I thought it was really easy to do this." Berti, that's why you were the right person to take on this task, to bring your Glen Oak gala, your Glen Oak family together. I can see it in everything you do. You are the product of a truly amazing experience. The values-oriented program of Glen Oak should be credited for the fine person you turned out to be. Thank you for making me part of your Glen Oak family, Berti, and all of you Glen Oak girls out there. The energy of the gala will forever change me and who I am. I just thank you all so much for that warm opening to me. Berti lives her life by the words of Emily Dickinson, "If I could keep one heart from breaking, I will not live in vain." Well, honey, you did one better than that. You brought together a group of women shaped by the same foundational experience when they needed it most in their lives. You truly deserve to be honored by your selfless efforts. I love you.
The gala was easy compared to standing up here and trying to make it through this, so here we go. I want to thank you. I'm sorry. First off, thank you, Brother Robert and Gilmour Academy, for this humbling honor. I would like to thank everyone who had a hand in making the Glen Oak Gala amazing. In particular, I want to thank Mary Kate and all the alumni staff for their overwhelming support. Their help and support raised the bar on the event. And thank you to all my Glen Oak sisters. Because if you didn't show up, I wouldn't be getting this award. My mom always says there's something about a Glen Oak girl. Glen Oak School cultivated girls to fulfill their own academic, social, moral, and spiritual potential to become tomorrow's leaders. The philosophy of Glen Oak was based upon the educational thrust of the Society of the Sacred Heart, the love of God for people of all races, religions, cultures, and nationalities. Glen Oak was innovative in its approach to education, including building design, organizational structure, student-teacher relationships, and methods of learning, such as team teaching and flexible scheduling. A sensitivity to and awareness of the value of each individual was an essential quality of this education. This was the philosophy created by Sister Isabel Kogan. The idea of an all-girls school in Cleveland run by the sisters started in 1964, the same year I was born. 5 years later, Glen Oak opened its doors in the fall of '69 with director Sister Marie Owen. In 1972, Canon Lloyd Gessner, an Episcopalian minister and Nova Scotia native, became the director. And in June of that same year, 48 girls in white dresses gave diplomas to each other as a symbol of the integral part they all played in each other's education and development. And Gilmour continues that tradition today.